Have you ever watched a drama and suddenly found yourself thinking,
Wait, this feels a little too real. Not just good acting, not just strong chemistry.
but something deeper, something that makes you pause, rewind, and wonder?
Are they really just acting? Because that's exactly what's happening right now with Yanan and Tian.
Ever since Veil of Shadows started gaining attention,
Fans haven't just been talking about the plot.
they've been talking about them, the looks, the tension, the small moments that don't feel scripted.
And now, the biggest question is everywhere.
Are Yanan and Tianji Rui dating in real life?
Today, we're diving deep into everything.
Their chemistry, behind the scenes moments, real life interactions, and the truth behind all those rumors.
Because trust me, there's more going on here than you might think. Let's start from the beginning. Veil of Shadows.
At first, it looked like just another drama. Dark aesthetic, mysterious storyline, strong visuals.
But then,
Something unexpected happened. The moment Yanan and Tianji Rui appeared on screen together,
people notice, not slowly,
not over time.
immediately. There was tension, the kind that doesn't need dialogue, the kind that exists in silence, a glance that lasts half a second too long, a pause that feels intentional, an emotional moment that hits just a little harder. And fans,
They picked up on it instantly.
clips started going viral. Edits appeared everywhere.
Comments flooded in.
Why does this feel so real? They're not acting. There's no way. This chemistry is insane. And just like that, a new on-screen couple was born.
But here's where things get interesting. Because strong chemistry alone doesn't always mean anything.
Actors are trained to create that illusion, to make you believe, to make you feel something that isn't real.
But sometimes the line gets blurry.
And with Yanan and Tianji Rui,
That line feels very blurry.
let's talk about Yanan first.
He's not the loudest actor, not the kind who tries too hard to stand out. His style, it's calm,
Controlled.
subtle, but that's exactly what makes him so effective.
Because when he shows emotion, it feels earned. A small change in expression, a quiet moment, and suddenly you're completely drawn in.
Over the past few years, he's been building his career steadily.
No sudden explosions,
No overnight fame,
just consistent growth,
project by project.
role by role. And now he's finally getting the attention he deserves, especially with this drama. Now let's talk about Tianji Rui.
She brings a completely different energy.
More expressive, more vibrant, more emotionally open, and that contrast, it works perfectly. Because where Yanan is quiet,
She's expressive.
where he holds back, she lets go. And when those two styles meet, you get something special,
Something balanced, something dynamic.
something that feels real.
That's why their scenes work so well. It's not just about romance.
It's about interaction, the way they respond to each other, the way their energy shifts depending on the scene. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel rehearsed. It feels natural. And that's rare.
But here's the thing, fans didn't stop at the drama.
They started looking beyond it.
Behind the scenes clips,
Interviews.
press events,
And that's where things started getting even more interesting. Because off screen,
they weren't distant. They laughed together.
they teased each other. They looked comfortable. Too comfortable, some fans would say.
There were small moments, nothing obvious,
Nothing that confirms anything.
but enough to make people wonder. A glance during an interview, a shared joke, the way they react to each other's answers.
And suddenly, The question comes back again. Is this just acting or something more? Now let's be clear. There's no official confirmation, no statement, no solid proof.
But that hasn't stopped the speculation, because fans love connecting dots.
Even when those dots are very small.
Some believe it's just professional chemistry, two good actors doing their job.
Others, they're convinced there's something more. And honestly, that's what makes this so interesting. Because we're caught in that space between reality and illusion,
Where everything feels possible.
and that's exactly what keeps people watching.
But let's take a step back.
Because there's another important question here.
Why are people so invested in this pairing? It's not just about romance, it's about connection. In a world where so many on screen couples feel manufactured,
This one feels different, more natural,
more effortless,
and that makes people believe.
even if there's nothing real happening behind the scenes, the feeling itself, that's real.
And sometimes that's enough.
But we're not done yet. So, after everything we've talked about in part 1, the chemistry, the moments, the behind the scenes interactions, we're left with one big question.
What is actually real and what isn't? Because this is where things start to get complicated. In the world of dramas,
What you see isn't always what you get.
actors are trained to create emotions, to build connections, to make audiences believe in something.
Even if it doesn't exist off screen. But at the same time,
Sometimes,
those emotions don't just disappear when the camera stops rolling.
and that's exactly why fans are so invested in Yanan and Tian Rui.
Let's talk about the theories.
Because honestly, this is where things get really interesting. Theory number 1, it's purely professional.
This is the most logical explanation. Two talented actors, a well-written script, strong direction, and the result,
Incredible chemistry. Simple, clean, no hidden story. Many fans believe this.
and to be fair,
It makes sense.
because both Yanan and Tianji Rui have shown strong acting skills individually. So when they come together,
Of course, it's going to feel powerful.
but here's the problem.
Sometimes it feels too natural. And that's where doubts start to appear. Theory number 2. They developed feelings during filming. Now, this is the one that fans love the most. The idea that something started while they were working together. Long filming hours, emotional scenes, spending time together every day. It's the perfect environment for connections to form. And if you think about it, it's not impossible. There have been many cases in the industry where co-stars became something more.
So when fans see small moments between them,
They start to wonder, is this just acting?
or is there something growing behind the scenes?
Again, no proof
But just enough hints.
to keep the theory alive. Theory number 3. It's part of promotion. Now, this one is a bit more realistic and maybe a bit more controversial. In the entertainment industry, chemistry sells.
Couples attract attention. They create buzz.
They bring in viewers.
So sometimes,
Agencies and production teams encourage that image. Not fake,
but enhanced,
more interactions, more shared moments.
more reasons for fans to talk. And when that happens, the line between real and planned becomes even harder to see. So, could this be happening here? Possibly. But here's the thing,
Even if it is,
it only works if the chemistry is already there.
you can't fake something like this completely.
And that brings us back to the same point.
Whatever is happening, there's something genuine in their dynamic. Now, let's talk about their real-life relationship status. As of now, there is no official confirmation that Yanan and Tianji Rui are dating. No announcements, no verified reports, no direct statements, which means Everything remains speculation, and that's important because in situations like this,
It's easy to get carried away.
fans create narratives, interpret moments, build stories, but at the end of the day,
The reality might be much simpler. They could just be good colleagues.
comfortable with each other, friendly, professional, and that alone can create the kind of chemistry we're seeing.
But let's be honest.
Even if that's the case, fans will still wonder because that's part of the experience. Shipping, speculating, hoping.
It's what makes following a drama more exciting. And honestly, that's not a bad thing.
As long as we remember the difference between reality and imagination. Now let's shift focus a little. Because beyond the rumors, there's something else worth talking about. The impact of this pairing, whether they're dating or not. One thing is clear, they're getting attention,
A lot of it.
and that can change everything.
More offers.
More projects, more visibility for both of them.